Hi, my name is Aaron Lostness, and today's lesson will cover Spanish verbs in 3 different tenses: the present, the preterite, and the future. I'm only going to be covering ER verbs in this lesson. If you want to watch the lessons that cover the AR and IR verbs, feel free to go to my website. So the present tense. This is a tense you're most commonly going to hear. It is used to describe what is happening and true now. To form this tense, you remove the infinitive ending from the verb, and you add the appropriate ending from the charts below, depending on whether the verb ends in AR, ER, or IR. These are the verb endings for most verbs. There's always going to be irregular verbs in all the tenses. For example, the verb poner, it means to put. You'll be learning about this one a little later. It is irregular in both the preterite and the future, but only in the yo form for the present. As you can see, there are different endings for the word you. Tu, usted, or ustedes. Question always comes up is, which one do you use? The rule of thumb is it depends on who you're talking to and the circumstances. So you want to use tu normally when you're talking to someone the same age, job, or educational level as you. Adults usually use the tu form when they're speaking to children. On the other hand, usted is more for formal situations. It signifies a more respectful way of speaking to someone, such as someone older than you, or someone you just met, or a police officer or a fireman. Preterite tense. The preterite tense is one of 2 simple past tenses. The other one is the imperfect, but we will cover that in another lesson. You just need to know the difference between the 2. The main difference is the preterite is used for completed actions, and the imperfect is used for incomplete or indefinite actions. So think of the imperfect as a timeline, and the preterite as a point on that timeline. For the preterite tense, you'll often see words like last night, yesterday, a month ago, something to indicate that the action was completed in an enclosed amount of time, a fixed point of time, or a specific amount of actions. Like the present tense, you remove the infinitive ending from the verb and you add the appropriate ending from the charts below, depending on whether the verb ends in AR, ER, or IR. Future tense. The future tense is used to describe a future specific action. You will see will or shall in the sentence. The future tense is different from the present and preterite in several ways. First of all, it doesn't matter if it ends in AR, ER, or IR. The verb endings are the same for all 3 in the future tense. Also, unlike the present and preterite tense where the infinitive ending is removed and you add the appropriate ending to the verb base, the future tense uses the whole verb, and then it adds the ending. Also, you don't even need to really use the future tense when speaking of future events. A lot of beginners shy away from it. Instead, they use ir plus a plus the infinitive. So an example would be, we will eat tomorrow. You can say, vamos a comer mañana, which is the present tense. Or you could say, comeremos mañana, which is the future tense. They both basically mean the same thing, but it's good to practice the future tense. Also, notice for writing purposes, the nosotros form is the only one without an accent. Alright, so here's a chart that gives you a breakdown of what we just covered. As you can see, the first person plural nosotros has the same endings in the present and preterite for both AR and IR verbs. So hablamos could either mean we speak or we spoke. Just depends on how it's used in the sentence. Also, look at the first person singular present yo and the preterite third person singular la usted for AR. They're the same. The accent is the only difference. A lot of times when you're speaking and when you're writing, the pronoun is left out because it's implied. So the accent is a huge difference. It's the difference of saying hablo, which means I speak, or habló, which means he, she, or you spoke. It's also a good idea to print these for studying purposes. So here's a list of the verbs we're going to cover in this lesson. Hacer, to make or to do. Traer, to bring. Comer, to eat. Tener, to have. Beber, to drink. Poder, to be able to. Perder, to lose. Caber, to fit. ver, to see. Saber, to know, information. There's another one that means to know, you're going to see in a moment. Querer, to want. Ser, to be. Poner, to put. Vender, to sell. Conocer, to know. This one's for knowing people and places. Saber is for information. And lastly, creer, to believe. Okay, so here's a little quiz we're going to do to cover what you just learned. It's going to cover all 16 verbs and 3 tenses at random. So, for example, you're going to see I eat, you ate, we will eat. I'm going to give you a couple seconds, and hopefully you will say, yo como, tú comiste, usted comió, y nosotros comeremos. Now, a lot of these are going to be irregular. I'm going to mark them with an asterisk. Just try your best with those. All right, let's get started. Oh, also, for the you form, I want you to practice using both the informal, tú, and the formal, usted. I make. Yo hago. They will eat. Ellos comerán. We had. Nosotros tuvimos. I can fit. This one's really irregular. Yo quepo. They will lose. Ellos perderán. He drank. Él bebió. You saw. ¿Tú viste o usted vio? He sells. Él vende. I will want. Yo querré. You will be. Tú serás o usted será. They believe. Ellos creen. She will know. Use conocer. Ella conocerá. You will make. Tú harás o usted hará. I bring. Yo traigo. We ate. Nosotros comimos. I have. Yo tengo. We will drink. Nosotros beberemos. I can do. Yo puedo. You will know, saber. Tú sabrás o usted sabrá. They see. Ellos ven. You will sell. Tú venderás o usted venderá. I put. Present tense. Yo pongo. We will believe. Nosotros creeremos. You wanted. Tú quisiste o usted quiso. You went. the verb ser, excuse me. This is another one that's completely irregular. Tú fuiste o usted fue. We will bring. Nosotros traeremos. He eats. Él come. I drink. Yo bebo. They will be able to. Ellos podrán. I lose. Yo pierdo. They fit. The preterite tense. Caber. Ellos cupieron. She will see. Ella verá. I know. Saber. Yo sé. You will put. Tú pondrás o usted pondrá. We sold. Nosotros vendimos. I know. The verb conocer. Yo conozco. You brought. Tú trajiste o usted trajo. I will have. Yo tendré. We will make. Nosotros haremos. She lost. Ella perdió. We will fit. Nosotros cabremos. You knew. Saber. ¿Tú supiste o usted supo? We are. Nosotros somos. She put. Ella puso. You could. ¿Tú pudiste o usted pudo? We want. Nosotros queremos. I knew. Conocer. Yo conocí. And lastly, you believed. ¿Tú creíste o usted creyó? All right, we reached the end of another lesson. If you have any questions, you can email me at alostness@hotmail.com, or my webpage is right there at lostnessgroup.com/Spanish. Right now, I'll show you what it looks like. So here it is. You can see it covers a lot of tenses. There's also a lot of quizzes. So, for example, this is a quiz regarding 7 different tenses. Unlike the 3 we just learned right now, this one covers present progressive, present perfect, imperfect, conditional. Also, it gives you different verbs you can practice with. And then also there's pronouns, there's vocabulary, there's adverbs. There's one on water animals. Here's a workbook for that. There's pictures with animals. This is really good for kids. They can help them learn. Also, there's sentences you can practice in lots of different tenses. Those are more meant for intermediate people. All right, so that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thanks for listening.